step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Very good morning to you, incredibly beautiful souls. Welcome to it. You are live with Expresso. Who knows? Today could be the best day of your life. Hopefully you had an amazing weekend. You're feeling in a celebratory mood. Of course, the Gunners taking the FA Cup final. We'll delve into all of the weekend sport. I didn't get one whoop whoop there. Come on, Kat. I can hear you somewhere in the studio. Well done to all of our Arsenal fans. And of course, it is a Monday morning, which means we shall rejoice. In the voice that is Jared Ricketts. Michael also joining us on the keys. Welcome. How are you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling so good. Had a great weekend. Just excited to be connecting with God, with the rest of South Africa. It's going to be a great time.
And with a very special song this morning.
Correct.
Really, really special one. You want to stay tuned for that. So as much as there is a lot to celebrate, I think the most important issue that we focus on this month is celebrating Women's Month. Probably the most important of the year. We bring therapist and public speaker Asha Dulab into studio to discuss issues facing women here in South Africa, and we also catch up with an icon. Bonang Moteba is going to be connecting with us via video to give us her message for all South African, all women out there. It's going to be an inspirational show, and it's going to be bag loads of fun as well. So stick around for the next 3 hours. We have you in our care. But let's connect with the rest of this gorgeous team. Morning, gang.
Good morning, G. Good morning, South Africa. My name is Jamie Lee Domberg.
And I'm Raul Demone. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful, beautiful Monday. Oh, the energy is prime. It's ready to set the week off.
You can just feel that energy there. You can also feel that it is Women's Month. It is August. We are so excited to be celebrating and highlighting so many women that is doing great out there in South Africa, using their platforms and their voices to bring change with regards to this month. And that is why on our social media, we've been asking you, what special message do you want to send to the women in your life? Now's the time to highlight them. Now's the time to send that positivity out there so that we can receive all the love that we deserve, everybody. So let us know. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3.
Indeed, Jamie Lee. Dom, do you have any messages that you would want to say or encourage to the women out there, especially for the day? We're going to be giving a lot of love and hopefully encouraging a lot of movement when it comes to the strength of women. Is there anything you'd want to share?
Love that. Just stay true to yourself. Always be unapologetically yourself and just own who you are, because, there's no greater gift than being who you are. So if I just want to preach it out there, well, stay who you are, you know what I mean?
Monday. Well, thank you guys. Of course, let us know on the socials, but let's say hello to the rest of the team. Kat, with the news, what is up?
A very good morning to you, team. Thank you very much. It's gone 3 minutes past the hour. Here's a look at the news headlines on this Monday morning. On the national news front, the Department of Basic Education has revised the 2020 school calendar for the second time this year. Grade 12 learners return to class today. Children in grade 7 will return on the 10th of August and the rest on the 24th of August. Now, the school year for grades R to 11 will be concluded on the 15th of December. The grade 12 examinations will also be completed by the same date. Now, there will be a break from the 26th to the 30th of October. Teachers will return on the 25th of January for the 2021 school year, and learners a few days later. In other news, Police Minister Bheki Cele has disputed claims that a number of police members will lose their jobs. This follows the announcement by National Police Commissioner General Kehla Sithole that there will be a considerable reduction of the police force after the adoption of drone policing. In an interview with SABC News, Cele said members of the police force will be shifted to rural areas. Cele said drone policing would begin in the near future as talks with major cities had started. On the international news front, NASA astronauts and lifelong friends Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken have returned to Earth after a 2-month stay on the space station. The crew's SpaceX Dragon capsule splashed down on Florida's Gulf Coast at 12 minutes to 9 SA time last night, the first splashdown in 45 years. The capsule was then hoisted from the sea onto a recovery vessel. The successful mission initiates a new era for the American Space Agency. All its human transport needs just above the Earth will in future be purchased from private companies such as SpaceX. In other international news, Zimbabwean top writer and Booker Prize nominee Tsitsi Dangarembga was freed on bail on Saturday following her arrest during anti-government protests a day earlier. 61-year-old Dangarembga was charged with incitement to commit violence and breaching anti-coronavirus health regulations after staging a two-woman demonstration in Harare, which coincided with the second anniversary of President Emerson Mnangagwa's disputed election. The Cambridge-educated author's arrest came days after her latest novel, This Mournable Body, entered the long list for the Booker Prize. And now news of the 20 times Grand Slam winners' surprise visit. Two Italian sisters, Vittoria, 13, and Carola, 11, became internet sensations earlier this year for playing rooftop tennis in Finale Ligure, Italy. Now, on one of these days, they had the most unexpected surprise of their young lives, a visit from tennis maestro and 20 times Grand Slam winner, Roger Federer. The 38-year-old Swiss had been touched by their perseverance during COVID-19 and decided to meet them. Now, the two were duped into thinking that they were conducting another interview on the rooftop when suddenly Federer appeared behind them, casually saying hello. The two girls were dumbfounded. He then joined them, rallying across the rooftops, and the video of this was an instant hit on social media, earning nearly 7 million views on Twitter, 1.3 million on Facebook, and almost 450,000 on Instagram within one day. Federer also enjoyed a pasta lunch with the sisters and their parents, and then had yet another surprise in store for them. In partnership with Berea, he is sponsoring them to attend the summer camp at Rafael Nadal's tennis academy in Spain. And finally, taking a quick look into the world of entertainment, one way many people have been able to get creative and express their frustrations with quarantine is by posting and watching videos on the popular video sharing app TikTok. Well, users in America are worried that they will no longer be able to access the app after US President Donald Trump announced on Friday that he plans to ban TikTok from the country through executive action. The Chinese-made app has recently sparked concerns that China could collect the personal data of Americans, although it's not yet clear how Trump could ban the company from the country or if he even has the authority. Now, TikTok's general manager in the United States, Vanessa Papas, thanked American users for their support in a video, saying simply, "We're not planning on going anywhere." The company has asserted that they are committed to protecting the privacy of its users and noted that it had added nearly 1,000 people to its US team this year alone and plans to hire another 10,000 employees for US-based positions over the next 3 years. Now, while we are waiting to see how this announcement unfolds, the TikTok landscape would certainly be different if its biggest investors could no longer participate. But on that note, that's it for the news at 6 o'clock. We'll have another report at 7 right now. Here's a first look at some very good sporting news with Graham.
Thanks so much, Kat. Let's get through the formalities first and kick it off with rugby. The Chiefs remain winless in the Super Rugby Aotearoa competition after going down 19-32 to the current log leaders, the Crusaders, on Saturday. The Satyrs once again are pulling away in the final quarter of the match to walk away as winners. They now only need just one more win with 2 games left to play to claim the Aotearoa title. In other fixtures, the Blues kept their title hopes alive after beating the Highlanders in another thriller, 32-21. But there was nail-biting action in the Australian domestic Super Rugby competition, with the Brumbies stealing victory over the Reds with a final kick in Canberra on Saturday. The Reds were leading by 1 point, which seemed to have sealed the deal for them, but the Brumbies had the final say after the 80th minute to win the match, 22-20. Another encounter, we saw the Rebels beating the winless Western Force 25-20 after extra time on Friday. Then on to the big one this weekend in football. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal have won the FA Cup for a record on the night to secure the win. Victory for the Gunners means that they have now qualified for the UEFA Europa League tournament next season. Then staying in the UK, reigning Formula 1 champion Lewis Hamilton won his 7th British Grand Prix. Second place, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc finished in 3rd. And then there will be a second Formula 1 encounter at Silverstone Circuit, and that's this coming Sunday. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take another look at the weather front.
Thank you so much, G. Here is a second look at sunrise pictures we have received from you at home from different parts of our beautiful country. Naji Moraz says, Goeiemorgen, with this picture captured in Palabora in Limpopo. Now, clear skies for the people in Palabora at a minimum of 10 degrees and a maximum of 26 degrees. Another one coming through from Elizwa Maliswa takes us to Mthatha in the Eastern Cape with a stunning photo. Now, Mthatha, it is going to be such a sunny day for you at a maximum of 30 degrees, and your morning temperature is at 8 degrees. Thank you to both Nadia and Elizwa for your pictures. I hope you have a great start to your day and a great start to the week. Now, Isaias, the 9th named storm of 2020, was downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm yesterday as Florida in the USA declared a state of emergency. Florida is experiencing bands of rain, tropical storm winds of 120 kilometers per hour, and storm surge flooding. Now, state authorities have opened shelters and closed beaches and parks. Coronavirus testing centers are still being temporarily shut, and there are fears the hurricane could hit nursing homes already badly affected by the COVID-19 virus. Isaias has already uprooted trees, destroyed crops and homes, and caused flooding and landslides in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and at least 2 people have been killed. Now, bringing it back home, it's time to look at the temperatures for the rest of the country. Starting off in Polokwane, your low is 4, peaking at 24 today. Umbombela ranges from 9 to 26, Pretoria 7 to 24, and then the city of Gold, Johannesburg, with a range of 5 to 22 degrees. Mahikeng coming through with a low of 4 and a maximum of 24, as well as Klerksdorp with a low of 4 and a maximum of 24. Kimberley can be seen with a minimum temperature of 3, peaking at 24 as well, and then Bloemfontein coming through with -1 and a maximum of 24 as well. Richards Bay ranging from 15 to 28 today, and then Pietermaritzburg, the friendly city, ranging from 11 to 30. South Africa's playground, Durban, with a minimum temperature of 12 and a maximum of 26, and as said, Mthatha ranges from 8 to 30 today. East London 10:30, Cradock 4:28, Port Elizabeth 10:29, and if you do find yourself in George, your minimum temperature is 9 with a maximum of 20. The mother city, Cape Town, is experiencing a low of 13 and a maximum of 17 with a 55% chance of rain. Worcester 7:22, Sutherland -2, peaking at 19, and then Uppington ranging from 8 to 26. But of course, whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself, make sure that you make this Monday count.
It surely is feeling like a blessed Monday indeed, and a blessed start to the week. Jared Ricketts and his accompanist Michael Wilson Trollope have made sure that we walk into this new month in good spirits, and they've presented us with 3 songs, of course, to keep our spirits uplifted as we welcome in Women's Month last week. And we can't wait to share the winning songs with you, as chosen, of course, by you. Now, we've counted all of the votes, and this morning we have our top 2 and the winning songs for this week from your votes are Falling in Love with Jesus and, of course, the Lord's Prayer. And, of course, don't forget that we'd like to challenge you, our viewers out there, to sing along with us. So record yourself performing to Falling in Love with Jesus and post it on our social media pages. And, of course, your video could be aired live on Expresso next week, Monday. But for right now, it's time for us to really get into the spirit of things, if you will, with the Lord's Prayer. Take it away.
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power,
a wonderful way to start off the week. Thank you very, very much, guys. Absolutely beautiful. And I hope that you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed it here. And of course, remember that you can, of course, post your rendition of Falling in Love with Jesus, post it to our Facebook page or our social media pages. We'd love to hear you sing along to our Gospel Monday inspirational tunes. But stay tuned for more inspiration right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We'll be right back.
Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're still tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, on SABC3. Thank you very much for joining us at the start of a brand new day. Now, imagine being part of a daily live panel talk show alongside 3 hosts where you get to provide the fourth perspective. Well, you no longer need to imagine because that show is here. It's actually the reimagined Trending Essay, and it's hitting your screens from tonight at 6 p.m. And of course, it's the same table, the same chairs, but 3 different booties on them. And this morning on Expresso, we are so thrilled to introduce them to you via video call. Please welcome Refilwe Mpakanyane, Elma Smith, and Mthokozisi Mapleqele, your new Trending Essay hosts in Mzansi! Unbelievable. Guys, it's great to see you. How are you all doing today?
Very good. Very well, thank you. Excited.
I can only imagine. Refilwe, one of your first major changes, of course, that viewers will notice is that the time slot has now changed from nighttime to prime time. So what does this mean for the content that you'll be bringing onto the show?
I mean, it really means that, the day has happened. We've been able to capture, follow, see what's trending, who's been a newsmaker, and, not reiterate, repeat the general take that's happened during the day, give it our own spin, and perhaps by the time 6 p.m. rolls around, people have had time to digest all the, the trending issues and topics and look for a deeper sort of understanding of what is happening around them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Alma, I mean, even though this is a return to the screens for the show, you basically are starting a new show during the pandemic. I mean, how does it feel to be embarking on this new adventure of this daily talk show? And how's the production ensured, obviously, your safety as well and everyone else's safety involved?
As you would know, shoo-loo-loo, there's a lot of new stuff now. I mean, it's masks and it's shields and it's elbows and
yeah.
We are socially distancing. It's a brave new universe in which we get to make shows, but so excited because 2020 has served up a lot of things that we need to talk about.
There's no doubt about that. It'll go down in history as one of the most unforgettable years of our lifetime, at least. Now, Mable, talk to me about the format that each episode is going to take and how this will change over the course of the week.
So basically what we're doing, because of the new time slot and the fact that we no longer have 42 minutes, so the show is going to be pasty. So you blink, you miss out. So you need to concentrate. So the features that are going to come through, it's features like My Life, where we're going to be profiling ordinary South Africans with inspiring stories. We're also going to be looking at some high-profile people, maybe people in government, your celebrities, and we're going to be doing those profiles. We're going to be profiling the people that are actually making the news, and we also get to play at the same time, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're not too serious, but we will be bringing you the stories, and we will be responsible in the way that we do it, but we're also going to have some fun.
Refile, I mean, tonight is the first broadcast. How are you feeling ahead of the broadcast, and what exciting guests have you got in store for us?
Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't a little anxious for everything to be perfect, but that's the joy of live TV, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is ever perfect, and I think that's what makes it so much more fun. And you've got I've got Elma with me, I've got Mablo with me as well, and we're effectively co-pilots, so we've got this. And so just excited to bring stories about ordinary South Africans, what they've experienced, what they've had to endure, and also just the triumphs, right? The triumphs of the human spirit. I don't want to give away who will be talking to this week, but I just want everyone to know that we're definitely going to leave them with food for thought. And we're going to leave them talking once that half an hour is over. We're going to leave them talking, perhaps a little annoyed at some of our viewpoints, agreeing and disagreeing. I think we're going to be sparking off some hectic conversations in the house, actually. I'm almost certain that's exactly what's going to happen.
Let me ask you all, I mean, obviously Trending SA was a huge show. The previous hosts all have had their say. They have their own platforms and voices that the audiences grew to love over the first iteration of Trending SA. But what are you wanting to bring as a collective to the table? Let me start off with you first, Refile.
Well, I think what I want to bring is exactly that. Let's look at the situation around us, and as Alma said, 2020 has given us so much to deal with, right? It almost feels as though we want to be serious all the time, but at the same time, we're all looking for some kind of levity. We're looking for relief, but at the same time, you can't run away from the fact that lockdown, pandemic, there is this global thing that unites us all. But let there be some balance, and I think I just want to bring that balance, that levity, that relief, but also more insight into what should we be prioritizing at this time. That's really what I think I'd like to bring to the table.
Yeah, Elma, what about you?
I think that a lot of what's been happening this year that's irritated me is that everyone feels like they should answer, defend, respond to everything that's happening out there. I'd love for us to give platforms to people to come in and join us and just share their truth and stay there for that truth with them. That is what I think our society, particularly here in South Africa, lacks at the moment, is instead of always feeling like you have to defend, being present enough to be there when people share their pain, when they share their experiences, when they start talking about what's real.
Wow, some really powerful stuff. Mablo, the gauntlet has been set before you. What are you bringing to the table?
Basically, what I'm going to be is the voice for the guy on the streets. I'm bringing the streets to SABC3. I'm bringing the streets. So I will be shooting from the hip. So the people that are watching, listen, we are going to fight on Twitter. And I am not one that is afraid of being wrong. So if I do step out of line, I want to be called out. And I will be calling out some people. So that's who I'm going to be.
So there might be a certain Twitter community of a darker complexion that might be calling you out. Are you saying that?
Yeah, are you talking about Black Twitter?
Yeah. Listen, guys. Exactly. I was trying to keep him safe, but he's bringing the streets, and the streets is there. But listen, guys, we can't wait for 6 p.m. tonight when the reimagined Trending SA hits our screens on SABC3. And until then, do stick around, because we'll be back in a little while with Refile, Elma, and Mablo to get to know them a little bit better ahead of today's momentous occasion.
Thanks so much, guys. I'm going to reiterate, good luck tonight. The Trending SA kicks off a brand new chapter, 6 p.m. tonight. Now, it is a Monday, and that means more meat-free Monday magic with Be Well. On today's menu, a recipe that's perfect in so many ways. It's cost-effective, uses lots of everyday pantry items. It's loaded with veggies and the benefits of canola oil, but most importantly, it's mouth-wateringly delicious and it smells amazing. It's meat-free. We're talking about our vegetarian lasagna, of course. Choose your health hashtag, switch to canola, and watch your dinner plans unfold before you. You've done well with this one. It smells amazing. Nothing like starting your day with crispy cheese. This is probably a great way to start a meat-free journey. Lasagna can be quite forgiving in terms of its, the flavor profile is quite easy to nail.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to take the meat out, put some veggies in. Where do we start?
Yeah, so a lasagna is usually something that's made with like mince, and it can be a perfect alternative with using veggies. So I would say if you're vegan or vegetarian, this is a great recipe for you.
Because it's still loaded with flavor as well, and quite familiar flavors. So it's not kind of pushing the boat out. And that's the problem, is people assume that when you go meat-free that you're going to change your entire flavor profile, that you've got to kind of really adapt, and not necessarily. You can still enjoy things, comfort food, stuff that you really do, a staple that you go back to a lot.
100%. So I've got a little bit of our Be Well canola oil in here. I'm going to add some onion, a little bit of courgette. So this is where all your veggies are going in. This is going to give you your most flavor and like your meat element to your lasagna. So a little bit of red pepper and some mushroom. I went with portobellini mushrooms. They are like, I find, more meatier than your standard button.
More powerful umami.
Yeah, they got a much more earthier, woodier flavor, and I feel like they hold their texture a lot better than a butter mushroom. So if you're going to go like a meat-free, I would say they're like your most meaty mushrooms.
Meatiest of the mushrooms.
For the more affordable variety, yeah. So you're going to just fry that up, and then I'm going to add some tomato pasta sauce. I've used just a tin tomato. I'm going to let this cook down. So while this cooks away, I'm going to make our white sauce. So white sauce traditionally is made with your flour, butter, and milk. And today we're doing like a very special vegan sauce, which I love this recipe. So you're going to use butter beans, also a big pantry staple. I always love having butter beans. They make the most amazing mash as well.
A very high nutritional value. So good for you.
100%.
Really good for you.
So we got that going in, a little bit of our garlic, a little bit of, this is your nutritional yeast. So this is what a vegetarian vegan would also use as a Parmesan replacement.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been wondering about that. My mom gave me a thing of it now. I'm like, how do I use this? I'm not making bread here. Okay, so that's, you actually use the yeast for its flavor.
Yes, for like that cheesy Parmesan flavor that you get. Like I love putting it over your pasta as well. Like you could totally sprinkle some on the top. A little bit of lemon juice for acidity, and vegetable stock.
And those are caramelized onions.
Caramelized onions, yes. So I love that we're adding that. It just gives it that beautiful onion sweet flavor. I'm gonna blitz this up.
So clever. That is so clever.
How quick was that?
Right now, there's a ton of vegan people going like, oh, wow,
guys,
that is a
and I can tell
good
it smells
idea.
so good.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right? So nice.
Dunk a cracker in there.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
So once your tomato is cooked down, you're going to layer your pasta at the bottom. You're going to add your tomato filling. We're going to top it with this white sauce right at the top. I've used normal cheese here, but if you're vegan, go for normal vegan cheese. You get lots of available varieties.
Lucky, yeah.
And like you said, breadcrumbs. Do little breadcrumbs and nutritional yeast, and you pop that on top.
boom, it's meat-free and it is absolutely delicious. It's packed with all of the same Italian flavors that you kind of need in a beautiful lasagna. Absolutely wonderful. And you can find this recipe on expressoshow.com. That's where we have all our culinary inspiration. If you're looking for a little culinary inspiration, how about this? Be Well are giving you the chance to win big. We still have a 1-year supply of canola oil up for grabs. That's incredible. All you have to do is reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter page. Then you've got to tell us how winning a year's supply of Be Well canola oil would be amazing for you and your family using the hashtag Switch to Canola. And this week's competition is open up until midnight on Wednesday. But you can find all the terms and conditions and that recipe, as I said, on expressoshow.com. Leia looks amazing. That's such a clever white sauce.
Be Well. Love, food, life.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, we're back again with the new hosts of the reimagined trending essay. This is Refilo Mpakanyane, Elma Smith, and Togozisima Bleu-Tele. To find out more about the journey they've traveled to arrive at this exciting destination, of course, don't forget tonight, 6 p.m. on SABC3, Trending Essay. Mable, now I understand that you obtained a B Econ, right, and actually worked in accounts prior to pursuing your passion for the arts. So what prompted you to make that move and to chase the dreams of music, acting, and presenting when you could have had a stable career in the world of economics?
You know, when people ask me that question, I usually I try to package it as deeply as I possibly can.
Yeah.
But for you, Ken, for you, I'm just going to put it on the table.
Shoot from the hip.
I got bored. It was boring. It was boring. I used to work. I used to work in an FMCG, and I found myself worried about margarine at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday morning. I was like, this can't be my life. I was like, no way this can be my life.
Elma, of course, we know of your extensive broadcasting career, especially in sports. Tell us about your journey, especially broadcasting for 2 World Cups last year. And how do you feel about adding current affairs to your arsenal now?
So I got to work for both the ICC, the International Cricket Council, and World Rugby in 2019. And what I learned from that experience working in international crews, where I was often the only South African amongst, 100 people, was that they don't have any kind of secret sauce out there in the world that we don't have access to. We can really hold our own as South Africans. We are change fit. We are incredibly inventive, and we work hard.
Wonderful stuff. Can't wait to see you on the screen in that regard. And Refil, of course, you work primarily in radio broadcasting, and you love researching and conducting a really meaty interview. How are you feeling about being on this panel for this daily talk show?
I am really, really excited about this. Obviously, I come right now, I'm doing a talk radio, and I come from, when I am on television, primarily anchoring news. What I think and believe is that there are so many avenues, important avenues, that we need to explore for having conversations as South Africans and relating to each other, right? and changing each other's minds if minds need to be changed, or speaking to each other's hearts if we're going to make collaborative decisions. And I do believe that a show of this nature, less serious, less buttoned up, but still addressing hectic and important matters, is such a beautiful vehicle. And I really hope that's what we do in this on this show.
And I think a vehicle whose steam and fuel relies on the dynamic between the three of you as hosts and as a panel. So how have you been spending time getting to know each other in the build-up to tonight's broadcast? And do you think that it is very important to have that kind of camaraderie between all of you?
Absolutely. It's key. It's absolutely key. I'm hoping that my co-pilots will get used to my super, super dry cynicism. We'll see how it comes across on air. But I think Elma's got me. I think my players got me. And I mean, yeah, the chemistry is key, guys.
Yeah, I can tell you that as soon as we're even in the makeup room together, the chats go deep. And there's not always agreement, right? So it's going to set up a few fiery conversations around that table.
Lovely. I love that.
I've said that when it comes to shows like this, the one thing that you need before you even get into that studio is that mutual respect, and you need to get along. So you are able to separate it from you guys. So we are able to go in from the rehearsals that we've had. We are able to go hard at each other, and then have a laugh at the end of the day, because it's not about us, it's about delivering a good show to South Africa.
Yeah. Last questions to all of you. Give me a hashtag that describes your superpower in this, that you're bringing to this, to Trending SA. Your hashtag that defines you, okay? So, Mabler, I'm going to start off with you first.
Hashtag Tony Stark. That same, I just say what I want to say, and sometimes I will be wrong, but most of the time I will be on the money.
That's the longest hashtag I've ever heard, by the way, but I'll accept it.
Hashtag Tony Stark.
Hashtag Tony Stark. All right, Refilo, what about you?
I'm still trying to think.
Shall we give you a moment?
Go
Elma, Elma, you go. How would you describe your superpower coming into Training SA? Hashtag?
Mine is hashtag worry. It's like my meta, but worry is a lot more demanding. It's when Karen says, "Can I speak to the manager?" Worry.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I love it. Woody. So, Refile, Woody, have you got something for us now?
Woody. This was when I first joined Twitter a long time ago in the dinosaur ages. I described myself as a bibliophile, and I guess that's it, hashtag bibliophile. I am at some point always trying to bring in and work in some quote, some book, some author, some writer, someone who has studied the things that we're talking about, someone who intellectually I admire or I think is an intellectual giant. And so as these two roll their eyes, I will generally tend to quote
when the tides rise.
All those things. And that's it. Hashtag bibliophile. I'm here for the facts, guys. I'm here for reaching back to find other people's stories as well, because whatever we're arguing and debating about, nothing's new under the sun. This has been done before. So let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's see how the elders did it before us. You know?
Hashtag facts only. Listen, the three of you are fire, and I cannot wait to see you on our screens. Good luck for the broadcast tonight, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kat. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a beloved show with a new flavor. It's the reimagined Trending SA, and it's back on our screens every weekday from 6 p.m. this evening, with repeats every morning at 11. And it's all right here on SABC3, where the stage is yours.
Welcome back, you gorgeous people, to your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on SABC3. Now, we know the Woolworths Fill a Bag campaign has gone from strength to strength, but still needs all the support and help that we can offer. Now, we have been humbled by the overwhelming willingness of the South African public, you at home, to help our fellow citizens in need, and wanted to say a small thank you to some of the kind souls that have donated on our show for their generosity. Take a look.
I'm donating 100 Rand to the people who need it.
I'm going to be donating 100 Rand as well. Press pay down, Miles.
And I will also be donating 100 Rand towards this. If I can, you can too.
My mommy said she's gonna match me and donate 200 Rand. Yeah, because she's more blessed, most.
There we go. And I challenge you to do the same.
And we challenge you too.
I just donated 100 Rand to the people that really need it.
I want to donate 120 Rand to the people who don't have very good lives, and I want them to live a better life.
Doesn't that warm your heart? You're never too young to show how big your heart is. A fantastic way to inspire all of us to help out a little bit where we can and make a difference in so many lives. So thanks to the continuous and ongoing efforts of South African citizens just like you, Woolies has managed to raise 2,312,582 Rand. Or as Jordan said, rands have been raised. This equates to a total of 783,926 meals out of their 1 million meal goal. We are getting there. We are edging ever closer. So that means just 216,000 meals, if my maths is correct, away from that goal. A massive thank you to everyone involved for their donations and showing South Africa just how quickly and easily we can all make a difference and help out.
So brilliant. Amazing to see that. Like, I still got goosebumps.
Oh, man. Well done.
Oh, of course, we're in the kitchen right now and we're doing a special favorite of mine. It takes me back to, I think, my varsity days when I literally lived off of this. So now it's something you can have for lunch or for dinner, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. And of course, Chef Clem is showing us how to make an easy but delicious tuna melt. Yeah, you heard it correctly. And we're using one of my favorite pantry staples, of course, and it's tuna. And the spring onions and lemon juice take this old classic and elevate it to another lip-smacking levels. You ready for the levels, Clem?
Yeah.
I'm so excited, man. I honestly meant this. Like, I literally lived off the stuff in varsity. Didn't have a lot of cash. Wanted to try get the body to a healthier state. It was all about the gains, and it was just like tuna and rice and tuna and bread. And tuna. It was like the only protein source that was cheap enough for me to just smash every day.
And it's a good source of protein, you know, right? The fact that it comes canned as well means that it lasts forever.
Yes.
We at Woolies do things differently. It's not only in cans as well. We do them in little pouches as well. How fancy are we?
Another story, okay, I have to admit this, sorry Clem, but like, I would be like, whatever it takes. When I needed protein in the day in class, I would do whatever needed to be done. So I would have, like you said, a random can just lying around in the bag. You know, those protein emergencies. I just finished the gym sesh. I got no options. So I would literally eat tuna straight out the can, man.
There's nothing wrong with that. I know people like that as well.
It was like eating chokers, because you're choking on these massive chunks. But hey, it got the job done, man. So I'm so excited that you can make this a little bit tastier for me. But clearly it's not going to take much, as you can see.
No, following that. Nah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is a really simple one, okay? So tuna mayo, we know it's really great. When I was younger, I didn't grasp the idea of tuna mayo being like heated with cheese. It'll actually be delicious until I tried it. Wow. And a good tuna mayo is like, it's epic, it's amazing. So first of all, spring onion. I wouldn't use raw like normal onion because it's quite potent. You know, you don't want that to overpower the flavors, everything else getting there. And tuna, it's got a bit of a fishy flavor to it, but it's quite like, it's not that punchy.
Not that, right? Definitely.
Okay, so let's go. We're gonna hit these. On the tuna, by the way, pouches are on promo at Woolies. We'll talk about the daily difference. Go in, check it out.
How cool is this packaging? I mean, imagine me back at school just... done.
Wow. You really, even then, for the protein.
I wish they had this back then.
Okay, so cool. So you hit it with that tuna, get the tuna in there.
Okay.
And the good thing about, like, tuna malt and tuna mayo in general, you can just do tuna and like normal mayo, and it's fine. But when you add like a few more elements to it, it becomes something really special. And for me, green pepper and black pepper must be in every single tuna mayo that you make. Green pepper, people are like, but green pepper's got such a green pepper. You don't like it in a.
Oh, green peppers. I'm thinking like a little green peppercorn coming out of this thing. Like, what is that?
Okay.
I got you. I got a little.
Okay.
It's Monday. We're getting back into it. I was like, what is that thing?
Okay, green pepper in. So it's the fruitiness and the citrusiness of green pepper that brings out the flavor of tuna and makes it so good, so delicious. The next thing we're going to do is hit it with like green pepper going in. Oh, by the way, do you know you get female green peppers and male green peppers?
Well, clearly I just found out what.
You just found out what a green pepper is. Let's just start
Clearly
there.
not.
Okay. So the females got more bumps. The men you'll see will have 3 bumps on them. You're looking at me like this man's talking utter nonsense.
I don't know.
He's talking utter nonsense. Even Graham in the background like, wait.
Graham and I are not so sure about this.
All right. So you'll find that the green pepper that have the 3 bumps, that'll be the female. And the ones that have 4 or 5, sorry, 3 bumps is a guy. 3 bumps is a guy. 4 or 5 is a female. And the reason we should know that is because females are sweeter than the male peppers, which means it's great to use this raw in a salad.
And they have more beautiful bumps and lumps.
Yes. I mean, sure.
Everyone knows that a female has more bumps than a male.
There you go.
The churches need to open. Can we open the churches in Cape Town? Some people need to go back to church. It's kind of essential right now. So churches need to open. Please, South Africa. Okay, back. We're actually cooking.
Let's go. Yeah, we're making some lumpy tuna malt.
Tuna malt. So we go. Hit it with a bit of lemon going in there. It's all about adding that extra citrusy and that like we've got the green pepper now that's in there, the lemon that's in there. Hit it with the mayonnaise. Are you someone that like, I know the answer already, a lot of mayonnaise or like a little, just enough to like bring it all together?
Too much mayo.
Oh,
too much
wow.
mayo. Yeah, bring it. I love it.
Okay.
There's good oils in there, Clem. I could do with that.
There we go. So what I did was I toasted the bread in the oven. I'm using Tante Anna, which is so delicious and nutty and fragrant. I toasted this in the oven, no butter, no nothing, because I'm relying on the fat that's inside the mayonnaise to kind of act as my butter for the tuna mayo. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna hit it on the sandwich, okay? Like a nice generous amount, because this is gonna be for dinner or for lunch. So you wanna make sure like it's not a snack. You must know it's tuna malt, right?
Yeah.
Hit it like that. Hit it with the sliced cheese, and mozzarella works really well because it's the best melting cheese. Can I ask you a favor? You got a little lappy over there?
Yes.
Can you grab the one that's out the oven for me?
I shall do so, Chef Clem, at your service.
Thank
the
you.
one behind me?
Yeah.
So just open it up.
Just open it up.
Bing.
Look at that.
That moment right there is
That's
like,
steam.
that's the golden gem in any kitchen. When you open that oven and you just get that.
It's so good. I can't wait
guys,
for you.
We're busy with the tuna malt, and of course, head over to expressoshow.com where we got this recipe inspiration, this infusion. Chef, are you going to be taking it out of here?
You can pass it to me, pass it to me.
All right, so head over to our website, of course, guys, where we have the inspiration for this
Yes.
classic.
Look at that cheese bubbling away. Thank you, Ryle.
Pop this one back. You can take it.
Thank you.
Lovely.
And that's how easy it is. I swear to you, you'll never look at tuna mayo the same ever again. This is the new official tuna mayo. A bit of lemon.
Oh, there you have it, guys. A tuna malt sensation. It's got all the protein, amino acids that you need. It's got carbs, it's got fat, it's got flavor, and it's perfect for you, straight from Chef Clem himself. Enjoy.
This is your feel-good breakfast show. You're still locked into all of that goodness that's so good at the start of a brand new day. Now, did you know this? In South Africa, over 11 million people belong to a stokvel. Testament to how this financial strategy remains a common and crucial vehicle for many. Now, as we usher into this new digital age, Nedbank reports that since 2018, over 4,100 stokvels have transitioned to a digital account. And here to share more insight into stokvels and how they are a great means of saving is our resident money expert, Sisandile Qikido, the head of saving and investments at Nedbank, and also author of Stokvels, How They Can Make Your Money Work For You. Palesa Lengolo. Ladies, a very good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, so good to have you here. Sisa, let's start with you. Why are stokvel savings as a vehicle so continually popular among South Africans?
So I think the real reason why stokvels remain relevant is because of the general accountability to your peers, general accountability to your friends and your neighbors. Remember, when stokvels constitute, it's people who know each other, people who get together with a common goal of, say, back to school items in January or buying groceries at the end of the year. And there's a sense of community around it. Stokvels kind of hold people to account and people hold each other to account, which makes it very relevant and makes it very difficult for people to default.
Yeah, very true. Now, Palesa, you've literally written the book on the subject. It's called Stokvels, How They Can Make Your Money Work For You. So tell us a bit more about how stokvels can, in fact, make our money work for us.
So I saw the gap in the market in terms of how can this great model, this great tradition improve into making their money more, making their money grow in terms of opportunities, in terms of investments. There was a bit of lack of information in terms of how can stokvels themselves participate in opportunities that usually individuals participate in terms of growing their money. So basically, I wanted to put that in light.
And Sisa, what segment of South African demographic uses stokvels the most as a savings vehicle?
So Palesa so rightfully put it, that it's from literally the lowest income earners to the highest income earners. I think the nature of stokvels is evolving gradually in South Africa, where we know over 40% of stokvels in South Africa, up to about 47% are saving stokvels. But in there are a myriad of different types of savings. So I'm in a stokvel, for instance, which is a rotational stokvel, rotational savings stokvel. Every other month, you get like 10,000 Rand and it rotates. I can't wait for my next payday. But then there's a stokvel that we're in to make sure, because we live in Joburg, we have family out in the Eastern Cape, and we know that come the end of the year, we're going to have to provide for them in terms of groceries and Christmas stuff and whatnot. But I'm also in a stokvel where we're investing, and we're talking about property investing. And I see this gradually, and I see it happening quite a bit. In terms of the stokvel landscape. I came across a stokvel out in Guletu, group of ladies aged between, say, 35 and 55. And these ladies have come together to build each other houses. So they spend about a year or two saving for bricks, saving for building material, and they've taught themselves how to build houses, and they're building each other houses. We see an increasing amount of stokvels, especially the younger generation. They say, we want, to Palesa's point, we want this to outlive us and not to be just something that we either cash out in December or we buy food from. We want this to live, and we want it to create a legacy. So I would say there is no defined LSM. People are saving from 50 Rand to, I think the average saving in stokvels is currently sitting at 250 Rand, to individuals saving up to 10,000 Rand a month together.
And the wonderful thing is that it creates such a sense of community. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that people are diversifying the nature of stokvels into like property stokvels, Sisa, because I've been trying to get Thabiso to get into my property investment stokvel, but apparently I'm not in his tax bracket. He's way above my income tax bracket, so he's denied me. But I'll have to find another way of pitching to someone else, maybe someone like you, we could relate on that. But anyway. Palesa, talk to me about what you've done, because you've now gone digital with your stokvel and you've opened up an account with Nedbank. So tell me more about how this transition happened and why you decided to do so.
first of all, what I like mostly working with Stockfels for so many years, with Nedbank specifically, is their understanding of the market. It's so important for the banking sector to understand the market that they are serving and how unique they are in characteristics and their needs. The Nedbank Stockfel account was very easy to open, but it's first of all because of the USD function that doesn't really need you from the word go to go straight to the branch. But most importantly, we needed an account that's going to make our money grow while we're saving and still not be charged exorbitant fees because we are saving. That is the whole point. And the Nedbank Stockfel account has zero account maintenance fees and is interest bearing. And most importantly, the benefits. Stockfel members, we are always about what can we get out of this. It comes with very important benefits, especially when it comes to us trying to change our money habits. Us as Stockfel members, first of all, are covered through the account that we have with Nedbank, the Stockfel account, up to 10,000 for just 20 rand and for the burial cover. And of course, great like discounts for groceries and school supplies, because every rand now really, really counts. So for us, that's how this account is working great for us.
And Palesa, what are some of the biggest myths and misconceptions about Stockfels?
So the biggest one is that Stockfels are for old people, they're old mamas in the village. And then another one is for poor people, really? So for the old one, first of all, that is really changing. Yes, it did start like that, where it was the old women in the village all waiting for the men working in mines, and it was never for the youth. But now, especially the past 3 years, the old mutual investment and savings monitor has really proven in their survey that there's a great growth in youth in Stockfels. And then another one is for low incomes. That myth is really is really evolving too, because we're seeing professionals and entrepreneurs really using the model. They might not necessarily be calling it a Stockfel, they might use it, but they must call it an investment club or whatever fancy word that these days use. The fact is, when you're putting together money together and you are for a certain financial savings goals, that is a Stockfel. As long as there is like legally constituted agreements in place, it's a Stockfel. So those two myths are really being busted by exactly what's happening, and they are factually incorrect at the moment because of where Stockfels are going.
It's all about the growth of the community. I love that. So Sisa, finally to you, what advice would you give to people to ensure that they make Stockfel savings a continued money habit?
I think don't lose sight of your goals. I say this often on the show, that there's a reason why you started. Please ensure that you've ticked those boxes before you take your foot off the pedal. So I think Stockfels are a great, great way to keep yourself accountable, because you've got other people who are doing it with you. And I think that support and camaraderie kind of help you even when you do fall by the wayside or you find it difficult. And I think it's very important for Stockfels to not lose sight of their goals, even in these difficult times. Use digital platforms to contribute into your Stockfel account. If you are a Nedbank Stockfel customer, you can also a club customer. You can also use our cash accepting ATM devices so that you don't have to be inside the branch, and you can observe social distancing. While you stay safe, also keep your mind on your goal.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Gotta love it. It's Sisandile Qikido, Head of Savings and Investments at Nedbank, of course, joined by Palesa Lengolo, author of Stockfels, How They Can Make Your Money Work For You. Thank you, ladies. You are absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. So if you're interested in opening a Stockfel account with Nedbank, they've made it incredibly easy for you to sign up.
Yes, simply dial star 120 star 001 star 7865 835, which is on your screen right now with the hash. And of course, we'll be able to get this number through to you on our Facebook page as well as our Twitter pages as well. The time is now. Katleho and I are going to have a good chat about this and revisit that conversation we once had.
I'm so glad. Thank you, Tabzi.
Good.
Privileged.
Welcome to the club.
Honored.
Welcome to the stock. Yeah.
So I'm chatting to Umalume Musa here. He's owned a small clothing factory for years now, and he's always inspired me with his success. But like a lot of businesses, this lockdown's hit him hard. So he spoke to his banker, and they've put together a tailor-made relief solution for him to help his business and his people get through this. Making your bank your business partner, that's a habit worth keeping.
You're still locked in your feel-good breakfast show. That was Palesa and Cindy, of course, sharing some valuable information. And these women are just sharing the goods. And speaking of women, we're going to be chatting later in the show about the problems and the issues that women are facing in our country and how we can support them. But that'll be coming up a little bit later. Before we do, let's check out what's happening with the latest in your 8 o'clock roundup of the news with G.
Thanks so much, Raul. Let's start with our national news first. The liquor industry yesterday said the government should start preparing to lift the alcohol ban. That following recommendations by the South African Medical Research Council. The industry has welcomed suggestions from the council that the prohibition should be stopped because there is no severe pressure on hospital beds set aside to treat COVID-19 patients. The National Liquor Traders Council and Beer Association spokesperson Sibani Mgari said over 100,000 jobs had been affected by the liquor ban. And keeping it in South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa has described as, we quote, unconscionable that some people are using the COVID-19 crisis to unlawfully enrich themselves. In a statement released this weekend, he said law enforcement agencies had been ordered to investigate all reports of possible corruption and irregularities in the procurement of medical and other supplies. The Special Investigating Unit is probing more than 100 companies in Gauteng alone that have been linked to questionable tenders. Meanwhile, South Africa's COVID-19 infections have breached 500,000 with 8,366 deaths and more than 347,000 people having now recovered. Heading further afield, the United Arab Emirates has launched operations at the Arab world's first nuclear power plant on the Gulf Coast just east of Qatar. Nuclear fission has begun in one of 4 reactors at the Barakah plant, which uses South Korean technology. The oil-rich UAE wants Barakah to meet a quarter of its energy needs as it adopts more sustainable energy sources. Last year, Qatar called for, and we quote, the Barakah plant a flagrant threat to regional peace and environment. Qatar, of course, is a bitter regional rival of the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Then preliminary tests to explain the reason for hundreds of mysterious elephant deaths in Botswana point to a naturally occurring toxin as a probable cause. A senior wildlife official announced this yesterday. It was highly unlikely that an infectious disease caused the deaths of some 300 elephants. Officials had been struggling to establish the cause of death more than 2 months after the first carcasses were spotted. Common causes such as poaching and anthrax were ruled out, and samples have been sent to laboratories in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and the United States for further testing. And now news of the 20 times Grand Slam winners' surprise visit. 2 Italian sisters, Vittoria, aged 13, and Carola, aged 11, became internet sensations earlier this year for playing rooftop tennis in Finale Ligure in Italy. On one of the days, they had the most unexpected surprise of their young lives. A visit from tennis maestro and 20-time Grand Slam winner Roger Federer. The 38-year-old Swiss had been touched by their perseverance during the COVID-19 lockdown and decided to meet them. The two were duped into thinking that they were conducting another interview on the rooftop when suddenly Federer appeared behind them, casually saying hello. The 2 girls were obviously dumbfounded. He then joined them rallying across the rooftops. The video of this was an instant hit on social media, understandably earning nearly 7 million views on Twitter, 1.3 million on Facebook, and almost 450,000 on Instagram within just one day. Federer also enjoyed a pasta lunch with the sisters and their parents, and then had yet another surprise in store for them. In partnership with Barilla, he is sponsoring them to attend the summer camp at Rafa Nadal's Tennis Academy in Spain. What an honor. Now, finally, taking another quick look at what's happening in the world of entertainment. Lupita Nyong'o's little brother is married. Many, I think, will remember his face from the once most retweeted photo, the viral Oscars selfie taken by Bradley Cooper during the 2014 ceremony, of course hosted by Ellen DeGeneres. Lupita took to Instagram recently to share photos from Peter Jr. Nyong'o's ceremony to his bride, Wanja Wahoro, which she unfortunately couldn't attend amid the COVID-19 pandemic and quarantine. One of the photos is a shot of her laptop as she watched the ceremony, alongside a sweet caption thanking technology and welcoming Wanja to the family. Well, congratulations to the newlyweds. That's a wrap of our news for this morning. Let's take one last look at the sports. Let's kick it off with Super Rugby. The Chiefs remain winless in Super Rugby Aotearoa's competition after going down 1932 to the current log leaders and tournament favourites Crusaders on Saturday. The Crusaders once again pulling away in that final quarter of the match to walk away with the win. They now only need one more victory with 2 games left to play to claim the Aotearoa title. In the other fixture, the Blues kept their title hopes just alive after beating the Highlanders 32-21. Then there was nail-biting action in the Australian domestic Super Rugby competition, with the Brumbies stealing victory over the Reds with a final kick in Canberra on Saturday. The Reds were leading by 1 point, which seemed to have sealed the deal for them, but the Brumbies had the final say after the 80th minute to win the match 22-20. In the other encounter, the Rebels beat the winless Western Force 25-20 after extra time, and that was on Friday. Then on to the big one on the footballing calendar. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal won the FA Cup for a record 14th time on Saturday after beating Chelsea 2-1 in the final at Wembley Stadium. So Arsenal's inspirational captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang led by example, scoring 2 goals on the night to secure the victory. So that win for the Gunners means that they have now qualified for the UEFA Europa League tournament. And then finally, rounding off with motorsports, reigning Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton won his 7th British puncture in the final lap, nearly handing the win to Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who finished in 2nd place. Another great outing for Ferrari's Charles Leclerc as he finished in 3rd. And there'll be a 2nd Formula One encounter at Silverstone Circuit. That's this coming Sunday. And that's a wrap of our sport for this morning.
Thanks very much, Graham. Now, in keeping, of course, with all things sport, let's talk about what was happening in this past weekend.
Absolutely. Now, as we know, the Durban July happened in Durban, and of course, a lot of people flocked to Durban to find out what's happening with the races and the fashion. And of course, we caught up on what went down, and you can do it too from the comfort of your own homes. Take a look.
Today we are here at Max's Lifestyle in Mlazi. This is part of our virtual Durban July experience. We had the Vodacom Durban July that was happening behind closed doors, but because it's one of the biggest horse racing events in Africa and the biggest for Durban, as part of destination promotion, we are here in the township to continue with the destination promotion virtually. We all know that we are not able to maneuver and be in gatherings as we are normally able to do, but as a destination for us, it's important that to keep the brand alive, we continue to sell the destination through different features. We are having an activation to showcase the fashion, to showcase a symbol of the horse racing, as we have a horse that has actually come to the township for the first time. We have the models, we've got the fashion designers, and we're actually very excited that we have our very own Somizi Mhlongo, who is a national icon known in South Africa, who is also part of the activation. And this is for the purpose of showcasing the destination to South Africa and everybody else in the world.
What I love about Durban, 1, it's my hometown, I was born here. 2, the weather, come on now, it's winter, it's in the middle of winter. Joburg and any other city in South Africa is freezing cold. Durban it's summery. You know, I'm not wearing gloves, I'm not wearing coats, I'm wearing a very silky shirt. The sun is shining, so are its people. Warm-hearted, hospitable, and just great to be here.
Max's Lifestyle, firstly, it's one of the best restaurants crowned by Condé Nast Traveler, and it's a one-stop shop basically, so there's no facility we don't want to have here. So there's a car wash, there's corporate functions that happen here, there's a Shisanyama, which is our core business from when we started off just as a butchery. Time times are changing. We've moved from a physical experience at Greyville, and now we're doing the July virtual. So this is the first time for a lot of people. We're just very blessed to have to host a virtual experience here, and Durban Tourism has, allowed us to create this platform that we can give other people to experience from the comforts of their homes.
The theme for the Durban July Butterfly gave designers to come up with creative, colorful, just to be colorful and bubbly like a butterfly, unapologetically and unashamedly.
I looked at the habitat of the butterfly. So while looking at it, I imagined myself when I was young, when we used to chase the butterflies on the forest. So when I went fabric shopping, I got this lovely print. It's a forest. And then since I'm a black child, I'm always going to promote black. So I decided to go with the colors black. And while researching, I found that there's also a black butterfly. So the whole inspiration was to infuse the two.
With regards to the creation of the garment that we actually on about today, I cannot put into comprehension as I dream in colors whatever inspiration I get, or whatever vision that I have in terms of colors, I act upon it. I'm more connected because my father was a fashion designer, so basically the inspiration for this outfit is mostly coming from my father and also my family, because that's what I value the most, more than anything in this world. This opportunity, it's totally a game changer, because I've always held myself into a standard that I know that I'm destined for greatness. I'm not even flinching because I know I can feel it within me. It is in my blood. So whatever I do, I pour out my heart to human nature. This work is not for me, it's for everyone to enjoy.
The inspiration was based on the whole butterfly cycle. As you can see in my garment, it has small sparkles which represent the egg, and then it also on the head it has segments that represent the caterpillar, and then the whole head, the silhouette of the head represent the cocoon. Finally, if she spreads out her hands, it represents a butterfly. So I actually embodied the whole butterfly. It's art. Masks are becoming a very big trend. There's no way that masks are not going to be a big thing, because it's going to be our everyday life. Right now I'm having an interview wearing a mask, and it's not just a mask, it is a statement piece. So it is very important that right now everybody must not just wear just for wearing. They need to make a statement like I did.
Right now, we are not able to travel because of COVID lockdown regulations. However, as Durban, in anticipation that this too shall pass, we are continuing to engage virtually with South Africa, with the world, to say they must remember Durban. They must know that Durban is here, it's alive, and it's waiting for them. So we are saying wherever they are, they must keep safe and be able to put it in their to-do list as soon as the COVID regulations allow. And we are waiting for them to welcome them and host them with the warmest attitude, as Durban is the warmest place to be.
Winter or spring, summer or autumn, Durban is always the warmest place to be.
All the fantastic fashion and the fillies from this year's virtual Durban July. There certainly was no horsing around there, Jamie Lee.
Absolutely not. I mean, wear a mask but make it fashion. I mean, that just showed us exactly how to do it. And that's the new normal, like they said.
Absolutely. Well, all was enjoyed. And congratulations to the team that put this event together, keeping the tradition of Africa's biggest event, horse racing event, alive and well, and certainly whetting our appetites for next year's event, when hopefully we can resume normally and get together and have the festivities of the Durban July, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Are you tired of conference calls, connectivity problems, and need to go on site or be in the boardroom? Well, Mango are soaring the skies once again. As we navigate through this new normal, businesses need to recover, and Mango cares about business. For affordable and reliable business and essential travel, visit www.flymango.com. Go discover more. Go Mango. Book now. Terms and conditions apply. Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Monday morning, the start of a brand new weekend. Of course, quite importantly, this past weekend, the beginning of Women's Month. You'll know that August in South Africa is commemorated as Women's Month. And this coming Sunday, it will be 64 years since that historic day when an estimated 20,000 women marched on the Pretoria Union buildings to protest oppressive pass laws. And every year, women are determined to commemorate this occasion with the same fighting spirit. But Mzansi's women are facing far bigger struggles with every day passing by.
Indeed, that's right, Kat. So today, that's why we're asking, how do women support women in this country? And now this morning, we're joined in studio by therapist, speaker and trainer Asha Dulab to help us discuss the topic. And of course, we'd love to hear your questions and comments as well. So please do call us on 021 110 5552 and we will engage with you live. Indeed. Asha, how are you doing this morning? It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. Wonderful to be back.
Yeah,
always.
In living color right here. Close proximity. Let's first start talking about and discussing and understanding the importance of women in modern day South African society.
I think South African women, we are a whole new, unique sense of wonderful. South African women, we are beautiful, we are strong, and we are resilient. The journey of liberation of women in South Africa has come a long way over the many decades of struggle or in the search of freedom. Mm-hmm. And we need to embrace this moment of freedom now more than ever and work together and in seeing each other as one. I think the days are gone where we see each other as separate or in a sense of division. We need to work towards the modern day woman who sees us all as one. We are all one as a nation, so let's embrace the oneness of womanhood together in this modern day society.
Oh, I love that, absolutely. Now, we have a strong notion of the potency of women in this country, particularly when it's talking about the roles that women played. And during apartheid, there was a struggle in terms of the caring for the household amidst incarcerated fathers fighting in the struggle of their absence. But now, why is this such an important aspect to learn about, and also to celebrate at the same time?
Well, perhaps I should start with the wise words of Nelson Mandela. And he, in his first speech after his release, he stated, I pay tribute to the mothers, the wives and sisters of our nation. You are the rock-hard foundation of our struggle. And apartheid has inflicted more pain on you than anyone else. So we need to understand and not forget the pain and the struggle that women have endured. But through this pain and struggle, there's unique qualities that women have gained. The qualities of forbearance, the qualities of perseverance, of tolerance, of endurance through the struggle. And we need to remember that it's only through struggle that we grow and evolve as women. So we need to embrace and celebrate and not forget the struggles. Yeah. Because the struggles will continue, but we need to embrace the lessons of the struggles and work together and build communities of strong women who empower each other. Because every woman has a story to tell, and we need to really embrace each woman's uniqueness and their stories. Yeah.
And perhaps an opportunity then during this Women's Month to, as you've just said right now, recognizing those struggles and reminding each other as a South African community of the struggles of women, especially in modern day South Africa. Of course, gender-based violence has been in the spotlight, but there are many other issues that women are facing every single day. And maybe you might just highlight some of those as we begin this Women's Month so that perhaps we might have a ringing narration of these throughout the month, that we put the focus on them and beyond, of course.
Yeah, women are challenged by domestic violence, unemployment, sexual harassment and discrimination. Women are challenged by what we call the motherhood penalty, where women are finding it hard to balance the lives of work, family, and raising kids. Many women have to sort of put their careers on lockdown trying to balance that. But I also think the greatest challenge in women is the level of their own self-judgment and judgment of other women in society. That's a huge challenge and an issue for women, because we need to, again, see each other as one, but the the unfortunate circumstances of women that compare and compete creates challenges that are unfortunately destructive and disheartening in the process of this liberation and this journey of freedom. I think we all just need to feel free to be and to feel free to see and to do and to love and to speak. So we need to embrace the freedom.
Oh, wonderful words there. Now, the big question of the day, as we talk relationships, at least our relationship with women as a society, we want to know, how do women support women in this country? And we'd love to hear your questions and, of course, your comments for therapist, speaker and trainer Asha Dulab. So do give us a call on 021-110-552, and we will be delighted to call you back and engage with you live.
Listen, the Feel Good continues right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and you couldn't have gotten through 2019 without seeing the name Bonang Matheba and yet another milestone achieved, launching her own MCC label. Check. Winning an international social media award in Prague. Check. And winning Africa's ultimate pop culture icon award. Check.
Of course, without a doubt, it was Bonang's year indeed. And of course, a two-part special docu-series chronicles the media personalities 2019. It's called A Very Bonang Year. It hit SABC One screens this past Saturday. And our Miguel Lebonza turned mogul is joining us via video call this morning to break it all down. Bonang, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fantastic. Even much better now, hearing your voice and seeing your face. Congratulations on the special. But 2019 was so special to you. This is incredible. Please break it down to us. Why did you decide to chronicle it in the way that you've done?
Well, thank you so much. I'm just glad it's, finally out of the way and everybody loves it and, they enjoyed it. I decided, for the past 3 years, I was part of a reality show. I was producing Being Bonang season 1, 2, and 3. And I thought I wanted to offer something different. And I think, a docu-series was a wonderful way of getting the content out, getting my message out very, very quickly. What I also understand now with trends is that people want to have a very short attention span. People want to watch something, but sort of want to get to the end as quickly as possible. And I thought I wanted to try that and offer a two-part series. Each episode is just over 45 minutes long, and just a summation of my 2019, like you said, from BNG all the way through to the Sun Med, right back to Los Angeles, Manchester, London. It was just a wonderful way of, elevating the brand and also sharing my story with people at home.
Getting stamps on that passport, honey. But this docu-series is a celebration and reflection on your career, and of course everyone's career has seen some sort of impact from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Take us through it. How has it affected your career, life, and maybe the plans you had for 2020? We know you were set on making a huge announcement earlier this year. Where do you stand right now?
I mean, it's impacted every single person in the entertainment industry, whether you are an on-screen personality or whether you are a cameraman behind the scenes. All of us have not been able to work. If you're a DJ, you haven't been able to go to events. If you're an MC like this, like me, you haven't been able to host events. So the entire entertainment industry, all of us are sort of sitting home and wondering what we're going to do. But I think it's a wonderful time for us to reflect. I have found that it's forced me to change, and it's forced me to be very, very clever in how I approach my business, how I share my brand, how I share my content. And I think it's a wonderful time for young creatives.
But now we're seeing a very Bonang year. How does it compare to a public figure, for example, or to being Bonang even?
I love that question. Thank you very much for asking me that question. Everything else, Being Bonang was very reality. Lots of personal moments, lots of funny moments with my friends and family. Not so much so the business side of Bonang and how she gets everything done and everything completed. Bonang is, I'm a little bit more mature. I'm a businesswoman. I'm an entrepreneur. You will find a more serious, young woman.
a very ambitious young woman. Public Figure, for instance, is a documentary that looks at the psychological impacts of social media. A Very Bonangia looks at how to use social media as a young creative to make your brand grow. It's very inspiring, particularly going into Women's Month, August.
So on Saturday, you had all of Mzansi really practically glued to their TV screens watching A Very Bonangia Part 1. What insights can we all look forward to sort of taking out and pulling out of Part 2 this Saturday?
Well, this Saturday, I'm very excited. We're going to Prague. We are going to a Wild 8 dinner with Jermain at the Beverly Wilshire in Los Angeles. We are going to the Summit in Durban. We're coming back to Joburg for a B&G luncheon. My cousin, Pinky Girl, will be there. You get introduced once again a little bit more to my friend Sakile. We get to see Amory Stewart, who's another one of my friends in the United States. And of course, my big interview at the Breakfast Club with DJ Envy and Charlemagne. So it really is a trip around the world, we're getting all our passports stamped together and we don't even have to move.
Printing visas. Bonang printing those visas. But of course, Bonang is going to be providing more reflection and insight into the groundbreaking year that was 2019 for her. It really, truly was so magical. And this Saturday in Part 2 of the special, A Very Bonang Year, it's going down. It really is going down. It's happening 6 p.m. on SABC1. But of course, stay tuned here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We've got a bit more coming up with the Queen Bee later on.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Clover's range of margarines and spreads. Classic spread. Mama Bake.
Margie, how do you know what we like?
I know someone who knows.
Spread the Margie love.
With love by Clover.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso, and we're back in the kitchen. If you're looking for a sweet treat to add that special lockdown birthday celebration, then listen up. Made with just a few pantry essentials and the versatility of Clover Classic Fat Spread, our toffee cream tartlets are sweet treats for the win. Nicole, these do look and smell amazing, and this is the perfect sweet treat. You can have just one, but you're probably going to want to have like 8 or 9.
Dessert's not just for one.
Come on, let's get out of here. I love the fact that you've got this beautiful combination here, obviously of the sweetness, but it's the textural elements here. You've got the crunchy phyllo pastry with this beautiful, soft, delicious, tarty center. These look amazing.
Thank you, thank you. So it's super simple. We're going to start off making our filling, which has got our Margie. I'm going to add that in. Let's pop it over here. So you're going to add 60 grams. I would say about a tablespoon is about 15 grams. So we're going to do 4 tablespoons. So we want to get this melted. Going to do one heaped one over here.
Beautiful.
So just want to melt this all the way down. Then you're going to add a little bit of flour. Yeah, there's a bit of, this is like a little kitchen action for the morning. So you're going to add your thickening agent, which is we're going to use flour today.
In this case, okay.
And this is a toffee, like toffee element to this. So how you make your toffee is when you add your brown sugar, and then we're going to add a little bit of syrup. So this will, you're almost gonna like let it caramelize a little bit and get that beautiful toffee rich flavor. So we're just gonna add
And this is dessert, so don't hold back. Don't be shy, get it in there. You want the sweetness.
Exactly.
And these are, I mean, they're nice and small and they're manageable in size, so you can go extra sweet, you know?
You totally can. So you're gonna whisk this all, make sure that you've got no lumps. And then you're going to slowly start adding your milk. So we've got 500 mils of milk here today. And it's almost like you would make like a white sauce roux. Same concept. So you don't want to add...
You've got the flour in there to act as the thickening agent.
Exactly. So you don't want to add too much too quickly. So you want to incorporate it nicely. So I've got it in here. Just going to whisk this. So while this heats up and thickens, you're going to prepare your little tartlets. And that is super simple. We're going to take more of our margie, and then we're going to add it to the pan, and you just want it to melt. So we're using phyllo pastry here today. If you don't have phyllo pastry, you want to use puff pastry, of course you can do that.
Same vibe, okay.
Same vibe. I just want to get this melted.
I like the phyllo, the fact that you can have the layers there, but how crunchy it goes. It gets that beautiful golden brown kind of crunch to it.
Yeah, I mean, look how beautiful it holds its shape.
Perfect little dessert cup. Yeah.
So what you do is, I've got phyllo pastry here, and you want to cut little squares, which I'm going to do here. So when working with phyllo pastry, you don't want to leave it out on your counter for too long because it gets very dry.
It dries out quickly. Okay.
Yeah, and then you're going to be working up with like a crispy phyllo, and when you put it into your tart, it's going to break.
Just crack, and it's going to be unmanageable. Okay.
Exactly. So I've got little sheets here. I made them a little bit bigger because I actually want to put them in my muffin pan over here. So I want to make bigger ones. Those ones we made in our cupcake.
That's cute and petite. That's
cute, but I want to go all out.
Let's see what we can do, yeah.
It's August, new month, new goals. I am definitely going to go all out with these. So now that this is melted, so phyllo, you do want to always brush with either oil or butter, and today we're going to be using the Margie Classic fat spread.
Okay.
So it needs a little bit of fat majorly because you do want it to crisp up and get that beautiful golden color.
It also enhances the flavor, yeah.
Exactly. So you're going to pop this into your muffin pan like that. You want to do 2 or 3 layers just because one layer is not going to really hold your filling beautifully. You want to have more of like a solid base. So I'm actually adding 4, so 2 at a time. And then...
they're so thin, it's not going to get stodgy. It's going to be lovely and crisp and light.
Exactly.
Perfect counterbalance to that tartlet filling.
So what you do is you pop that in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes just to get like these little cute shells. You let it cool down, and then you fill it with this filling. Once it's nice and thickened, you're going to pour it in, and it's done. Just like that. It sets beautifully.
Do you have to put it in the fridge to set it? Can you just leave it out?
You can put it in the fridge if you want to, if you're going to serve it a bit later. We actually just made these this morning, and we've left them out, and you can see just from the room temperature, they're perfectly set.
Perfect little wobble. Looks absolutely beautiful. I love that, again, that contrast between the beautiful buttery, the kind of Margie crunch on the phyllo with that soft, beautiful, gorgeous toffee-like texture and flavor of our delicious tartlets. If you want this full recipe, you can get it at expressoshow.com with all of our recipes from this week. In fact, we've got a ton of culinary inspiration, so go and check it out. Really is worth a visit. But if you missed any of the steps of how we arrive at this beautiful end result, take a look at this.
Clover's range of margarines and spreads. Classic spread. Mama Bake.
Margie, how do you know what we like?
I know someone who knows.
Spread the Margie love.
With love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to this Monday morning edition of your Feel Good Breakfast Show as we talk relationships. And we do this today with therapist, speaker and trainer Asha Dulab. And she's joining us in studio to help us discuss the issues facing women in South Africa and how we support each other and how women support women, especially as we look in light of Women's Month. Now we have a live caller. Give us a call on 021 110 552. This is Matsidiso from Johannesburg. A very good morning, Matsidiso.
Good morning, sir. My question is very short. I just want to ask the doctor because I'm really, really in a pain. The doctor there, how do you work? How do you work with women who can actually take advantage of you because you're a woman and you're vulnerable?
All right, great. Thank you very much for that. So working with women who seemingly are taking advantage of you, and I'm assuming this is specifically in the workplace. Let's first maybe just take it a step back and try to understand why that happens.
Well, with women, we are faced with a lot of comparison, competitiveness. There's a lot of jealousy, judgment, envy in this world. So that most women are living a pretense, and we need to get real and be real with who we are, and that means getting to know ourselves, getting to know who we truly are, our authentic self. And that is a tough journey. It's not an easy journey. So what sometimes happens is that we want to exert our control, our power, maybe over another woman. And energetically, women can pick that up. And it's not a nice feeling. So some women can feel that they're being taken advantage of. So I think that it's important for women to start speaking up, stand in their power and speak their truth of how they feel. Because when we're speaking our truth, we are raising empathy, we are raising compassion with women. And what does empathy mean? Me too. And we need to share in our stories, our unique stories of womanhood, of our experiences, of our struggles, of our pain. Because in every story, we're going to gain a huge lesson. And even for this woman that has been taken advantage of, she needs to express how she deeply feels about that to the person that she feels is taking advantage over her. There's growth in that experience for her because it's a painful struggle. That experience it's destructive and it's disheartening for women. And I think many women feel that way. So the more we speak about it, the more we can share in our experience and we can grow and learn together.
So just kind of directing it back to Matsidiso and what she was asking for, practically speaking, it boils down to having a sit-down conversation with the person that you feel is taking advantage of you and expressing that this is how I feel, and I guess opening up the table of conversation.
Absolutely. So important to have authentic, honest conversations on how one feels. Women need to become more real and speak about matters of the heart. I think sometimes we stay too much in our head. So we need to get into the heart of the matter. Remember that we as women, we are very sensitive and we are emotional beings. So we will naturally feel more, we'll be more reactive to someone that's taking advantage of us. But if we can speak about it with love and compassion and really embrace our unconditional love that we all inherently have within us, we can really conquer the world. But we cannot do this from a place of fear. We have to do it from a place of love.
Wow.
Absolutely love that. Now, moving on to, I think, again, more pertinent matters, and it's something you've actually discussed now. When we look at South Africa as a whole, there's so many different communities, and women especially will identify with different communities, and we have such a vast amount of them. So how then does a woman find a place to then express these truths and these honesties, and also then find a community that can support them? How do you go about doing that?
Well, it's really the need of the hour for women to support each other in different communities. I think South Africa offers us a kaleidoscope of different cultures. And here, what's important is for women to firstly respect and tolerate other women's uniqueness and differences. And this is again linked to sharing and learning about other cultures and offering acceptance. I think women need to firstly offer deep, deep listening, tied in with deep, deep care, with appreciation for women's uniqueness, and of course acceptance for women as they are, without any judgment towards them. So really embracing the uniqueness of the different cultures and the different communities that we all are part of.
Yeah. Now, we also kind of spoke during the break a little bit about this notion that women don't necessarily support each other, are very envious of each other, look upon each other with a lot of scrutiny. Do you think that is true, first of all? And then if so, how do we encourage a new way of thinking where everyday conversations revolve around empowering each other, affirming each other?
Yes. Well, I think acknowledging women should be happening every single day. We need to exalt each other, we need to champion each other, we need to speak kind words to each other. We need to remember the quiet confidence that a woman holds in her character. And we need to embrace the strength of this perseverance that a woman has, this confidence, this love in support of each other. I think that support and envy unfortunately links into the judgment, the jealousy that comes across with women. Women are scrutinizing other women. Women are gossiping about other women. I think that we need to really just become more one and not come from a place of lack of. I think many women feel that they are either lacking in peace or lacking in love or lacking in beauty. And from that place, women can't experience a sense of abundance. So we need to see the world as one, see the world as abundant, and there's enough for all. Yeah. And we need to embrace each other as one nation of women, powerful women that can support each other.
Well, that's certainly very encouraging, especially when we talk about powerful women and we look at the reason for the existence of Women's Day and Women's Month, those incredibly powerful women that stood together to march on the union buildings against past laws, that at the end of the day, those actions benefited an entire nation and still continue to inspire what we do each and every day as we fight for freedom of not just the nation, but specifically of women during this time. So let's be encouraged and let's look upon this month as an opportunity for us to reflect on the very many issues that affect women on a daily basis and how we can then play a role in making those issues better every single day.
Well, of course, we asked you to empower each other on our social media platforms this morning in honor of Women's Month, and we've had some wonderful, wonderful notions coming through. Her Black Marthinus Matabedi saying, I wish all women in the whole world life, happiness and everlasting love. I wish them the powers to be respected by men and all the blessings life could ever bring. Love that. Then Cheryl Pile saying, to all women, remember God is good all the time. A lot of women are going through tough times now, but keep the faith. This will pass. A blessed month and months that follow. And Jamie, you look gorgeous. We echo that, Jamie. You do look gorgeous this morning. Then Sarah Baraholo saying, to all women, we are the pillar of strength, the rock, and we are the grace. But mostly, thank you to my Aunt Esther Mabena from Tsakane and my friend Mildred Chwala from Malahumbe Mabopane, Izi Mbokoro. And then I love this, a very proud cricket team being displayed in all their finery. Fishrite Hanover Park Cricket Club, and the byline says, this is not all of them, so I assume there are a lot more women that need to be celebrated in this space. But thank you so much. You can keep those messages of support coming. We are going to be celebrating Women's Month all month, and putting on a pedestal that incredibly strong woman that has helped South Africa get to where we are right now, because that's what we need to do, not just today, but every single day. And we're going to speak to one such woman right now. Continue our discussion with Bonang.
Now, when you think of iconic South African women, it's hard to keep Bonang Matheba away from the top of that list. She is in the midst of sharing the excitement of a new two-part docuseries, A Very Bonang Year. And as we've entered into Women's Month this August here in Mzansi, we'd love to pick Mohel's brain on being a woman in this country. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us this morning.
Yeah, only a pleasure.
And of course, it is also Women's Month in Mzansi. And part of the reason for you airing your two-part special, A Very Bonang Year, at this time is in light of the incredible achievements you have made, as well as the work you do to empower young girls and women from all over. But what does being a woman in this country mean to you?
Well, I think it's very scary, you know, to be a woman in South Africa, and that's just the truth. I think our gender-based violence statistics are some of the scariest in the world. And any South African woman will tell you it's very, very scary. When you want to leave at night, when you want to do simple things, shopping, you know, jogging in the morning, you're always having to look behind your shoulder. It's very unfortunate. But also in this country, the women are doing so well. I see so many young women buying cars, so many young women starting businesses, so many young women supporting their families. And that's why I love to center my work around women. I feel like when you educate or empower a woman, you empower a community. She then becomes a domino effect. You know, the Bonang Matheba Bursary Fund is centered around educating the real child. My work with Global Citizen is and United Nations is centered around empowering young women.
What are some of the challenges you face in that space, working with young women who have to get out and still face the challenges of everyday life as a South African woman?
You know, young women, I find they overwhelm themselves. They want to achieve and do all these things, but somehow can never find the fire or the fight to start. You know, my biggest challenge is getting somebody to believe in themselves, getting them to start, but then also reminding them that it's not something that's going to happen in about 24 hours, unfortunately. You know, time and success, those things, I mean, and money, those things require a long time. And I think my career is a great illustration of that. You know, young women need champions. I need to be a champion for other women. We in society need to open doors for women. You know, people who are gatekeepers.
Reasons why you think women are the most potent and powerful beings ever.
Because they're the most important. They give life, they nurture, they support, they inspire, they are the anchors of society. Yeah, and once a woman unlocks that, realizes that about herself, she becomes very, very potent.
There was more than 3 though, but yes, I'll take all of them.
Okay. All right. Bonang, before we let you go, how do you encourage everyone out there? Because I think a lot of people often think that you've got to be a celebrity, you've got to have a big media or a publicity platform to be able to encourage and empower people. But how do you encourage everyone out there, every woman out there, every man out there to really step up and help in the effort to empower the women of South Africa?
I say whether it's a big or small, anything that you do, if you can make somebody smile, if you can assist somebody, if you can inspire, if you can teach, if you can help somebody grow, please do it. There is great fulfillment in service. There is great fulfillment in sharing. And there's great fulfillment in being a blessing to other people.
I just want to take all of that in, just lie down and bask. And soak it all up.
Drama. Bonang, thank you so much for sharing your story with us this morning. You are such a role model again to so many women, and we look forward to checking more lists with you, just like made a new app, check. Do this, check. So thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to sit down with us this morning.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you.
Of course, that was Bonang Mateba, and we can't wait to see what else our Miguel has up her sleeves. To catch the rest of her reflection and insight on her 2019, then please be sure not to miss part 2 of her special A Very Bonang Year. It's all going down at 6 p.m. this Saturday on SABC1. Bask, Jamie, bask. Take it in, Jamie.
What's better than a sugar-coated, deliciously crispy golden brown donut and 100% Arabica beans brewed to perfection? Treat yourself and warm up your morning with a little sweetness from McCafe with the all-new mini donut and cappuccino offer. A little lovin' doesn't have to cost a lot. Great coffee, simple.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on SABC3. Thanks once again for joining us at the start of a brand new day. On this Monday, the start to a brand new week as we look toward Women's Month. And we've had many encouraging conversations around that topic today, which I hope have inspired you. But of course, as we look to further inspiration musically, so Jared Ricketts and Michael Wilson Trollope also join us to give us that Gospel Monday, that upliftment of spirit. And you're about to perform a favorite song of yours, if you will, right? It's Falling in Love with Jesus.
Yes.
Why is that such a favorite song of yours?
Well, it's sung by Jonathan Butler, and he, as I've mentioned before, he's so iconic in our community. As a musician, he's reached massive strides in his career, and we can only hope but follow in his footsteps. He's opened up doors for us all to do what we love, and so also it's a very special song, as you've mentioned, very popular, and just special meaning. You know, we had a conversation earlier, and you spoke about loving yourself, you know, especially with Women's Month.
Yeah.
And I just want to reiterate what Kat said. You know, the song is special because it speaks about, yes, falling in love with Jesus, but, you know, you've got to love yourself and fall in love with yourself each and every day. And, you know, once you love yourself, that's when you can start loving everybody else around you.
Absolutely.
You know? So, yeah.
Well, we've been waiting with bated breath, and finally it is here. Here's Jared Ricketts alongside with Michael Wilson Trollope on the piano with Falling in Love with Jesus.
Yeah.
in love with Jesus. Falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I've ever done. Falling in love with Jesus. Falling in love with Jesus. Falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I've ever done. In his arms I feel protected. Oh, in his arms, never disconnected. In his arms I feel protected. Hey, there's no place I'd rather be. Michael Wilson, try to take it away for us. Come on. Falling in love with Jesus. Hey, yeah. Falling in love with Jesus. Oh, yeah. Falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I've ever done. Falling in love with Jesus. Falling in love with Jesus. Oh, falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I've ever done. I've ever done.
Wow, thank you so much, Michael. What a performance there, Jared. We absolutely love you. Take a bow, gentlemen. That was quite superb. Wow. Sure. Well, that was kind of the crescendo. Let's try and bring it back down to earth and maybe do a little bit of cooking. Of course, we're going Facebook Live after the show where you can join us on the Expresso Morning Show Facebook page for an extended little masterclass. What are we doing? I'm trying to kind of surmise what we're going to be doing. What are you going to be making?
So we're sticking to the pantry staple themes. I'm going to be making literally the quickest mushroom pasta you'll ever come across. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. And then of course, if you have any questions, then I can see if I can answer them. And please tell me what you keep in your pantry. And I can maybe give you some cool ideas and maybe some things you have to have in your pantry too.
She's already helped me find a way to use yeast. My mom was like, do you want the yeast back? Do you want more already? It's amazing. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing on Facebook Live. But of course, yesterday was a very big day in the world of entertainment. For yesterday and today, and I think for many days forward, Black is king.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's been so much to talk about and to chew on this Monday morning, including the fact that this weekend, a very big one for Queen Bee, and by that I mean Beyonce. Of course, Black is King was released this past weekend, and all the world was raving all about it. And more specifically, when we focused on the fact that a couple of years ago at the Grammy Awards, apparently Adele was so upset at the fact that she was awarded Album of the Year.
Yes.
That reportedly, apparently, she broke the award award and shared the other half with Beyonce, whom she believed. There! Okay, so it's not even reportedly. She actually did. She broke the award and gave the other half to Beyonce. Not sure whether it actually made it through to her because she believed that Lemonade was a better album than 25. Whichever way you look at it, this weekend the Queen was winning once again. Black is King really made big headlines.
You know, before we even speak about the Queen, I've got to just say that such a pertinent and such a valuable thing that Adele did, and something we're highlighting now during Women's Month, is such a sentiment to what all women should be doing when they feel they want to uplift each other. Go ahead and do it. Don't hold back. And I love what Adele did in that sort of message of sharing that
the
title with her.
Sharing the voice, sharing the space that she's in. And again, going back to Black is King, it's been trending. We need to watch it. Everyone needs to go watch it. So many South African talent has been highlighted in that. Africa as a whole, putting us out there on the map. That is amazing.
Thank you very much for watching today's show. We'll see you again bright and early tomorrow morning. Go out there, inspire each other, love each other, make someone smile. Bye-bye, everyone.
Happy Women's Month.
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover. Another feel-good production.